Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast, the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions in the worlds of TV, film, pop culture, news, lifestyle, social media, everything really, depending on the guest. We talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. My guest is the writer, producer, director, and star of a film called A Place Among the Dead, and you also recognize her as Drusilla in Buffy The Vampire Slayer and Angel. We have Juliet Landau. Juliet, welcome to Popternative.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you too. I mean, it's like, I mean, I said it at the top. I mean, Place Among the Dead. I mean, you wore many hats on that film. What was that like, wearing many hats on that film?
It was incredible. I've directed before a couple of documentary shorts. I did one all about Gary Oldman's creative process, and another one where I got to interview Guillermo del Toro, Rian Johnson, who directed Star Wars The Last Jedi and Knives Out, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But this feature, getting to direct a scripted narrative feature, has been an incredible experience.
Absolutely. What can people expect a little bit from this film?
Well, it's a really incredible and personal movie, and I made it very personal. As they say, the more personal, the more universal. I play an alter ego version of myself, as does Gary Oldman, Ron Perlman, Robert Patrick, Lance Henriksen, Joss Whedon. Yeah, it's an amazing cast. Best-selling authors Anne Rice and Charlaine Harris appearing for the first time ever in a movie. And the movie is all about the repercussions of growing up under the sway of narcissism and evil.
Wow, that's amazing. And we'll get into the project a little bit more, but I just want to say, in terms of storytelling, acting, I mean, when did that kind of all start with you? Like, when did you kind of decide that was something you wanted to do?
I was a dancer to begin with. I was a ballerina, and then I started taking acting classes, and I really loved it. I found the dance world to be sort of narrow and insular at a certain point, and loved having a verbal exchange and getting to talk about conceptual ideas, getting to use physicality as a component, but also getting to use language and all of that. And so the bug bit me, I think, then, and I was started acting, studying for a long time, did a tremendous amount of theater, then started working in film and television and voiceover and all of that. And being on sets, I think there's a moment where you start to think about if you were telling the story, how would that be? And ideas start brewing along the way, and then you find a way to make it happen.
Absolutely. And a lot of people that have followed your incredible career will also know you from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And the one thing I do have to say is the fan base. Like, think about it, right? Like, when was how long has Buffy been off the air for?
It's been 20 years, and it's amazing. The Buffy
It's still strong, the fan base.
Yeah, it's actually, and during COVID, Buffy's been trending again. And I think it's amazing because it's a show that also you can watch with your family. So you can watch, people that watched it originally are watching it with their kids and even their grandkids. And it's a show that, you can watch time and again and find different things in, which hopefully all great art has that.
Absolutely. And you were actually not the first Buffy the Vampire Slayer guest on Popternative.
Oh, cool.
We interviewed Adam Bush, who played Warren.
Ah, awesome. How was that?
It was great, but he said the challenging thing was to be such a horrible character in such a passionate fan base.
Right.
If you think about that, that's an interesting dynamic too, right?
That is interesting. It's funny. Drew obviously is a nefarious, villainous character, but for whatever reason, in terms of the fan base, everybody really loves that character. They've been really responsive and open. So I haven't had that coming at me so much. That's interesting.
Yeah, because your character wasn't the greatest person.
No, I definitely, yeah, did some real bad stuff and was, fed on people quite a lot. But she also was such a dimensional character and very tortured and had these fragile elements, I think, as well as being diabolical. And obviously, her and Spike had this epic love affair. So there were a lot of elements that made her relatable besides the vampiric aspect, I guess, of her.
So I'm a 91, so I was I was still young, when Buffy was
Right.
in its
You're a
prime.
baby. You're a
Yeah,
baby.
but
That's
my
awesome.
my sister told me that there was hype around the show where people like before it came out, like people were talking about it. For you specifically, I do want to know, when did you kind of realize, you and the cast and crew of Buffy, when did you kind of realize that you had something special? Like when
You know,
was that? When did that happen?
well, I think we all knew it was something special while we were working on it, just because the writing and, Joss is so talented and had such a clear vision and brought together this unbelievable group of people. So I think we all felt like we were making something special. What you don't know is, you're in your little cocoon and bubble and doing your creative thing, and you have no idea if that's going to resonate or people are going to respond to it. And so I think that happens later. But I think right from the get-go, from the very first pages I read, I thought that it was something special.
No, absolutely. It is really cool also to see, like you said, like it's been like 2 decades and it's still like massive, and like it's like memes show up
Yes.
sometimes. Like it's almost like it's not going away.
No, it almost seems like it grows more and more and more. And it's wild because some people will say to me that they've seen the entire Buffy and Angel series through like 40 times, that they just watch it and watch it and watch it and watch it again, which is just incredible.
What was that like, being on a spin-off as well? Like what was that kind of like? That always, I feel like, is a challenging thing for the writers and the directors, because you're kind of like, not maybe you're tag teaming with a previous world and universe, right? But at the same time, you want to maybe make it different as well, right? Like that must
Right.
have been a challenge for everyone involved as well.
From an acting standpoint, it actually felt like one big family. We worked in different places, so we shot Buffy in Santa Monica, and we're on sound stages there, and then we shot a lot of Angel on the Paramount lot, and then locations as well. So, and a lot of the people, like the actors, crossed over. A lot of the crew crossed over. The cameraman had worked on Buffy and then became the DP over there. So it sort of felt like one big universe as far as the actors went, and almost hard to feel different that you were doing one from the other. And sometimes when we were shooting, I'm going to close this mail so it doesn't do that obnoxious dinging. Sorry about that. Almost when we were doing the crossovers episodes, sometimes we would shoot some of the Buffy stuff on the Angel set and some of the Angel stuff on the Buffy set, just because we would be doing scenes where there'd be different perspectives. And so we'd shoot the stuff on the opposite sets.
Wow. It's true, because yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, I always find it funny because I look at, like, anytime I think of like there's a lot of shows that have had spin-offs. But
Right.
like Buffy and Angel's always, like, for some reason, like the first one I think of. Like if you would
Yeah.
come and tell me, like, name one spin-off, like I would tell you
Right.
Buffy and Angel.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Well,
was
and
it was a big deal.
it was a big deal, and it was neat because at the same time you do an episode where a Buffy episode that would go into an Angel episode airing
Crossover.
the same night, and those crossovers. And so yeah, and so it was a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Whether you've been working on a project for 1 year, 10 years, whether you've been working in the industry for like early times of like 2 or 3 years, or if you've been doing it for 20 years, there's always going to be learning experiences on any
Yeah,
project you do. You're always going to learn.
for
For
sure.
you, on A Place Among the Dead,
Yeah.
what were some learning experiences for
Oh my
Juliet
gosh.
Landau?
I learned so much. I mean, first of all, being alive, hopefully you're continuing to learn and be curious and evolve, till the day that you die. I think that's, the goal. In terms of on the film, uh, I learned on every aspect because, we were raising the financing. So we dealt with that, and we learned on creative levels as well as the business side of things, all about the investor paperwork. In pre-production itself, we did a lot of preparation. As an actor, I like to come in super prepared. The more prepared I feel, the more open I am to the happy accidents and being really free to what presents itself. So I brought that philosophy into working on this picture. We had a lookbook where we had all the departments could visually see what we were going after. We had a rehearsal period with the actors for a few weeks. We brought the DP, our cameraman, cinematographer, into the rehearsal, so everything came out of the acting, blocking what was happening with the actors. We worked with the actors. The movie is scripted in a very unusual way. It's all scripted, but it's part fact, part fiction, part fantastical. So all of our known actors, including myself, we play alter ego versions of ourselves. So I scripted with each of the actors. They have interview sections, and they're made to look completely natural and spontaneous and to represent their views, but they were entirely scripted. So that was very interesting in capturing that. And many people have said that they have felt like they thought that they were not scripted. So that's yay. And then we also just learned in terms of post-production. I actually learned editing. Our editor is brilliant. He edited the BAFTA-nominated film Tim's Vermeer. And I found it more useful than trying to communicate in words what I was seeing in my head, to cut stuff for us to work from. Worked very closely with our composer, Monica Richards, and loved that part of the process. It's such an integral part of the movie. It's a tapestry in of itself and adds almost like a whole other character, and really worked back and forth with her to get everything exactly where we wanted it. And then in terms of the whole distribution phase, we're working with Modern Films, which is an awesome female-based distribution company, and so learning about that whole it's so many lessons. I mean, this would go on for 10 years if we if we got into all of them, but it's been incredible.
When I started the show, I also kind of wanted it to be a little bit of a learning experience because I have a master's in communications and I like the behind the scenes stuff. Can you express to my viewers how important it is to try to wear as many hats as they can in content creation and production, even if it's not going to feel comfortable or glamorous? How important is it to kind of not stay in one lane and kind of experiment?
It's been wonderful. I mean, it's actually interesting because my husband is a cinematographer and he worked closely with our DP and shot a lot of the movie as well. And he actually plays himself in the movie. And it's the first time he's in front of the lens, and he did not like being in front of the lens, but he said it was so eye-opening in terms of being on the other side and then seeing what happens. And it's really affected when he's shooting stuff since then, having that experience. But also there's something so amazing about having an idea and taking it from its very inception all the way to its completion, and being the one who's in charge of all of the decisions to bring that vision out, and also to assemble a team of wonderful. I think we worked with 150 people, probably, in terms of our crew, and you want to inspire people to collaborate to bring out the best in them, so that they, you have the vision, but hopefully they bring you stuff that furthers that expands beyond where you ever imagined it, and so that's really exciting as well.
Absolutely. No, it's great to hear. Well, Juliet, thank you so much for coming on Popternative.
Absolutely. I would love to just tell you where our film right now is.
That was my next question. Where can people go see that?
Woohoo! Okay. I beat you to the punch, huh?
You did. Yeah, so we're plug away. Where can people check out the film?
Okay, absolutely. So it is available right now at Lumley Theaters. So it's available all through the United States, virtual cinema. We also are having these special screening events, interactive, where we screen the film and then get to have interactive Q&A with the cast and the audience, and then have been doing these Zoom discussions, which have been so powerful and beautiful. People have just stayed. The entire audience has stayed each time that we've done them. And we have our next one on November 21st. Then we will be worldwide on December 14th, and tickets are available for all of the above at modernfilms.com/A Place Among the Dead.
Amazing. And where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
They can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Juliet Landau. On Instagram, I'm Juliet_Landau. And on Facebook, Fans of Juliet Landau. That's a page that I manage, and so I'm the one on there. So
amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Congrats on the project, The Place Among the Dead. That's amazing.
Thank you so much. I think once you were talking a lot about vampires, we use the genre for a number of reasons. We wanted to make an entertaining movie, but we also wanted to lull the audience into a sense of safety to explore some unsafe and radical ideas. And then, of course, all of our talent has ties to the vampire genre. And last of all, because the vampire is the perfect metaphor for the ultimate narcissist. So I look forward to hopefully some of your listeners and viewers coming to see. And speaking of which, I don't know if you are available or interested, but if you would like, on November 21st, I can get you a complimentary ticket. And if you want to come and see the film and hang out.
That'd be awesome. That'd be amazing. Well, that's great. Thank you so much. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. And until next time, this is Juliet Landau and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.